Picture this. It's 3 in the morning. Something moves in the darkness of your hallway, low to the ground, completely silent, eyes locked onto a target. Every muscle coils. The body flattens. Then, in a single explosive instant, it launches through the air and lands with surgical precision. That's not a jungle predator. That's your cat. And the gap between those two things is a lot smaller than you think. Here's a number that should change how you look at that animal the moment you walk through your door. Your house cat's genome is 95.6% identical to a tiger's. Not similar in spirit, not distantly related. 95.6% the same genetic code as the Amur tiger, which can weigh up to 660 pounds and measure 10 feet from nose to tail. You're sharing your bed with a creature that is genetically almost a tiger. That shared DNA isn't just a curiosity. It shows up in everything your cat does. Cat behavior expert Layla Morgan-Wild points out that house cats perform the exact same predatory rituals as their wild relatives: stalking prey, pouncing, scent marking by scratching, and shinning objects to claim territory. They're not doing these things to entertain you. They're doing them because genetically they are built to hunt, and the hardware matches the software. A house cat can leap up to 6 times its own body length in a single bound. 6 times. Proportionally, if you could jump like a cat, you'd clear a school bus from a standing position. Their night vision leaves ours far behind. Their eyes are tuned for tracking movement in near total darkness. The same adaptation that let the tiger disappear in a shadow and reappear right on top of its prey. The hunting instinct runs so deep that even a full food bowl doesn't shut off. Researchers found that only about 23% of the animal's cats ever make it back home. The rest is consumed at the scene or simply left behind. Scientists estimate that cats across the United States kill billions of birds, reptiles, and small mammals every single year. Billions at so the next time your cat sits very still and stares at something you cannot see. Pupils wide, tail twitching, they aren't daydreaming. They're doing exactly what 95.6% of their DNA has spent millions of years perfecting. The apex predator on your couch is just waiting for you to look away. Here's a myth almost everyone believes. Cats can see in total darkness. They glide through a pitch-black room without bumping into anything, so we assume their eyes are some kind of unlimited night vision system. In reality, even a cat's remarkable eyes need at least a trace of light. Total darkness stops them, too. What doesn't stop them is sound. And when you look closely at what a cat's ears can actually do, the picture that emerges is less like an animal and more like a precision instrument no human engineer has come close to replicating. Start here. Each ear contains 32 muscles. 32. That gives a cat the ability to swivel each ear completely independently, rotating a full 180 degrees, like 2 satellite dishes scanning in different directions at the same time. While a person has to turn their whole head toward an unexpected sound, a cat has already pinpointed its location, measured its distance, and started making a plan. The movement is so fine-tuned, so immediate, that it registers as barely a flicker. Blink and you miss it. Now for the number that really reframes everything: 64,000 hertz. That is the upper limit of what a cat can hear. Humans reach about 20,000 hertz, and then the world goes silent. Cats hear more than 3 times higher than that ceiling, into a range of frequency we don't experience as sound at all. It's not a slight advantage. It's an entirely different sensory universe sharing the same room with us. The high-pitched sounds of small prey animals, sounds that simply don't exist for us, fall squarely within a cat's hearing range. They're not tracking movement or catching a scent first. They're listening to a frequency band we didn't even know we were missing. And those ears do double duty beyond hunting. A cat communicating with its ears is broadcasting in plain sight, if you know how to read it. Ears held upright and twitching signal curiosity and alertness. Ears flattened tight against the skull signal discomfort or threat. The animal going quiet, drawing in, sending a message without making a sound. The same apparatus that locks on a prey from across a room also carries an entire emotional vocabulary, We spend billions engineering systems to extend what our bodies can't do. Cats arrived already equipped with hardware that makes most of those systems look primitive. Which came first, the pharaoh or the pet cat? Most people would say the pharaoh. Most people would be wrong. By thousands of years, for a long time, Egypt got all the credit. And honestly, it makes sense. Ancient Egyptians worshipped cats as living embodiments of the goddess Batet. They mummified them, honored them in their artwork, and mourned them like family members. There are even accounts that Egyptians would rush into burning houses to rescue their cats. The ancient Egyptian word for cat was meow, which, delightfully, is basically just the sound a cat makes. A civilization this devoted could only have invented the whole relationship, right? Then, in 2004, a team of French archaeologists led by Jean-Denis Vigna of the National Museum of Natural History in Paris published a finding that quietly rewrote history. They had uncovered a grave on the Mediterranean island of Cyprus, a Neolithic burial site about 9,500 years old, and inside, a human and a cat had been laid to rest side by side. Not tossed in, carefully, deliberately buried together, surrounded by seashells, polished stones, and other decorative objects. The two skeletons were just 40 centimeters, about 16 inches, apart. The cat was only 8 months old, young, with no signs of butchering. The researchers published their findings in the journal Science, and the conclusion was striking. This was not a wild animal that wandered into a pit. This was a companion, possibly the oldest known pet cat in the world. And here is the detail that makes the discovery even more remarkable. Cyprus is an island. Cats do not swim to islands. Someone had to bring that cat across the sea, which means humans and cats already had a close enough bond, thousands of years before Egypt, for a person to put a cat on a boat. This pushes the beginning of our partnership with cats back more than 4,000 years before the earliest Egyptian artwork even depicts them. Egypt was not the beginning. It was just one chapter, an exceptionally devoted chapter, in a story that had already been running for millennia. The next time someone calls cats aloof or distant, consider this. About 9,500 years ago, a person decided that when they left this world, they did not want to go alone. They wanted their cat with them. You probably heard that black cats are bad luck. But for most of recorded human history, that idea would have seemed completely insane. And in some places, dangerously wrong. In ancient Egypt, cats were not pets. They were not even mascots. They were divine. By around 2000 BCE, Egyptians had built an entire spiritual world around them. The goddess Batet, one of Egypt's most powerful deities, took the form of a cat. She represented protection, fertility, and motherhood. Killing a cat, any cat, for any reason, was treated as an offense against the gods themselves. And when a family's pet cat died naturally, the household would shave off their eyebrows in mourning. Think about what that tells you. These people love cats so deeply that losing one left a physical mark on their own bodies. The cat wasn't just an animal. It was a sacred presence, woven into daily life and religious practice at the same time. And honestly, it's not hard to see why. Cats move silently through the dark. Their eyes catch light in a way that seems to glow from within. They survive falls that would kill other creatures and walk away like nothing happened. They hunt the rats and cobras that threaten the grain stores entire populations depended on. To the Egyptians, cats didn't just seem useful. They seemed supernatural. Now hold that image, because what happened next is one of the most dramatic reversals any animal has ever experienced in the entire span of human history. During the European witch trials, running roughly from the mid-1400s through the 1700s, cats became targets of mass fear and persecution. They were linked to witchcraft, to devil worship, to forces people desperately wanted to destroy. The suspicion alone was enough to drive widespread killing campaigns across parts of Europe. Cat populations were decimated. Here's where the story becomes genuinely consequential. Remove cats from an ecosystem, and something rushes in to fill the gap. Rats. As cat populations collapsed, rat populations exploded. Plague-carrying rats, now spreading disease through the very communities that had hunted down their only check. Historians have pointed to the painful irony. The very animal that had spent thousands of years controlling the rodent populations threatening human survival was hunted down, and what followed helped devastate the communities that destroyed them. The creature that once moved people to shave their eyebrows in grief had become, within a few centuries, something they feared and killed on sight. No animal in history has fallen quite so far, quite so fast. Here's something most people get wrong about their cat. All those meows, chirps, and demanding yowls you hear every day, none of that was meant for other cats. Not a single one. Adult cats essentially never meow at each other. It is a behavior they developed almost exclusively to communicate with people. Between cats, signals travel through body language, tail movement, and eye contact, not sound. But when humans entered their world, cats developed something new and aimed it entirely at us. This shift happened gradually over thousands of years of domestication. Kittens do meow at their mothers. That is where the vocalization begins. But as cats mature into adults, they abandon it almost completely with other cats. The only context where it survives and keeps growing is with the humans they live alongside. And cats do not just meow at us. They fine-tune it. Research shows that individual cats develop different sounding meows for different situations. One for hunger, one for wanting outside, one for being unhappy about a closed door. The remarkable part is that these sounds are not universal. There is no single, "I am hungry" meow that all cats share. Each cat builds its own set of signals, which means each cat and each owner end up with something close to a private language. Studies found that strangers who listened to recorded meows could not reliably identify what a cat wanted. But the person who actually lived with that cat could. They would hear the recording and say, that one means she is unhappy you closed the bedroom door, or that one means dinner is late. The relationship rewires how both sides communicate. Perhaps most striking is what cats do when they really need a fast response. Research has found that cats can shift their meow to sit close to the pitch of a human infant's cry. The sound the human hearing is hardwired to find urgent and nearly impossible to ignore. Your cat has, in effect, learned to activate your biological alarm system and point it at a food bowl the next time your cat looks up at you and opens its mouth. Remember, that sound exists because of you. It did not come from ancient cat-to-cat chatter. It was invented for the one species in the room that keeps filling the bowl. Picture someone recovering from surgery, lying in bed, their cat climbing up and settling directly on the bandaged area. Most people would say the cat is just being affectionate. But what if something far more precise is going on? A cat's purr isn't just a sound, it's a physical vibration. And here's where things get genuinely strange. The frequency of that vibration falls between 25 and 150 hertz, which turns out to be exactly the range that scientists already use to encourage healing in human bones and tissue. That's not something invented for a feel-good pet article. Researchers in therapeutic medicine have long established that bone responds to vibrations in the 25 to 50 hertz range, while soft tissues respond to frequencies closer to 100 hertz. A cat, sitting on your lap, appearing to do absolutely nothing, is generating precisely those frequencies every time it purrs. A 2006 study by Fauna Communications found that domestic cat purrs fall between 25 and 140 hertz, overlapping with therapeutic ranges already linked to bone growth, fracture healing, tendon repair, wound healing, and joint mobility. All of that from an animal that looks like it is simply taking a nap. What makes this even more surprising is why cats purr at all. Most people assume it signals contentment, but cats also purr when they're stressed, injured, or in pain. One theory that researchers take seriously is that purring is a form of self-repair, a low-energy mechanism the cat runs to keep its bones and tissues in working condition during the long hours it spends at rest. Supporting this, bone fractures and joint problems are notably rare in cats. That may not be a coincidence, and the benefit may not stay with the cat alone. A 2008 study at the University of Minnesota found that cat owners had roughly 40% lower risk of heart attack compared to people who had never owned one. Other research has found that simply petting a cat can measurably lower blood pressure. Those same frequencies a purring cat generates may be reaching the people nearby, vibrating into the body in ways that register at a biological level. Nobody is suggesting you replace a doctor with a tabby. But when a purring cat settles onto your chest at the end of a hard day, it may be doing something your body already knows how to use. The rocket ignites. G-forces press the small body back into the capsule. Altitude climbs 10 miles, 20, 50, until the curve of the Earth appears against the black of space. The year is 1963. The passenger is a cat named Félicette. France launched her aboard a Veronique AG-1 rocket on October 18th of that year, making her the first cat ever to reach space. She survived the flight, returned to Earth, and was later honored with a memorial statue unveiled in Paris in 2019. Almost nobody knew her name before that. Almost nobody remembers it now. But Félicette is just the opening move in a very long pattern. Because once you start looking, you realize cats haven't simply been sitting in our laps. They've been quietly running things. Take Stubbs. In 1997, the residents of Talkeetna, Alaska, a small town of roughly a few hundred people, effectively elected a tabby cat as their honorary mayor. Stubbs held the position for nearly 20 years, surviving a dog attack, drawing in tourists from around the state, and reportedly spending his afternoons drinking water spiked with catnip from a margarita glass at the local restaurant. Not a single human challenger managed to unseat him. Then there's Tommaso. When Italian millionaire Maria Assunta died in 2011, she had a decision to make about her estate, roughly $13 million. She left it entirely to her stray black cat, not to her children, not to distant relatives, to the cat. Tommaso reportedly offered no comment, and perhaps the most quietly devastating case, Socks, the black and white cat of the Clinton White House. During the 1990s, Socks became so famous that he received more fan mail than President Clinton himself. Thousands of letters, addressed to a cat, written by adults who presumably had things to do. The pattern is obvious once you see it. Félicette rode a rocket and let humans take the headlines. Stubbs governed a town while humans ran the meetings. Tommaso inherited a fortune while the family contested the will and lost. Socks overwhelmed the White House mailroom while the leader of the free world handled foreign policy. Every civilization eventually gets the leader it deserves. In some cases, that leader naps 18 hours a day and expects the world to revolve around them. Somehow it does. 0. That's the number of sweet taste receptors inside a cat's mouth. Not a few, none. Cats are the only common pet completely taste blind to sugar, because somewhere in their evolutionary past, they lost the gene that codes for sweet detection. Every bowl of birthday cake left on a counter, every candy wrapper a cat sniffs and walks away from. That's not indifference. It's biology. Sweetness simply doesn't exist in their world. And that's just the beginning of the myth-busting that you've probably heard cats are nocturnal, creatures of the night. They're not. They're crepuscular, meaning their activity peaks at dawn and dusk, the exact windows when small prey is most exposed and most catchable. That 3 a.m. chaos your cat unleashes, that's the tail end of a dawn surge, not a midnight mood. Their eyes are built for low light, not total darkness, and their hunting instincts are wired to those in-between hours. Then there's the milk saucer. Cartoons, children's books, centuries of cultural reinforcement, all pointing to the idea that cats love milk and milk loves them back. The truth, most adult cats are lactose intolerant. Their bodies stop producing the enzyme needed to break down milk sugar after kittenhood, meaning that generous pour of cow's milk is less a treat and more a stomach upset waiting to happen. And then there's the most dangerous myth of all, 9 lives. The idea that cats always land safely, that falls are no big deal, that gravity is somehow optional for them. Cats do have a remarkable riding reflex. They can rotate their bodies mid-fall to land feet first. But that reflex needs distance and time to work. Falls from moderate heights, where there simply isn't enough air for the full rotation to complete, can cause serious injuries. Cats have died from falls that owners assumed were survivable. Believing the myth can cost a cat its one actual life. The next time someone repeats any of these with total confidence, you'll have the real story that if this changed how you see the cat curled up on your couch, there's plenty more where that came from. Hit subscribe so you don't miss what's next.